Hello my friends, it's Ranger Russ from the Meigs Point Nature Center, and just found this little frog outside climbing on a chair. It's just hopped under me. This is a spring peeper, and it is one of the loudest animals in Connecticut. The cicada can get to about 120 decibels. This little frog gets to about 90 decibels, which is about as much as your lawnmower can produce. So if you imagine being around a lawnmower, he's heading somewhere, for a long period of time, that's the amount of noise that one of these little frogs can produce. This is a small tree frog. The males are only about an inch to maybe an inch and a half. This looks like it might be a male, and they're the ones that make the loud noise. Again, they are an amphibian, so they can absorb things directly through their skin. You want to be really careful that you don't have anything on your hands when you handle them. They eat small insects, and they have to eat things that are moving. So anything that's moving and will fit in their mouth, so you imagine, look how small its mouth is. It's not very large. It's really going to need a small prey item. He's just cruising along there. I'm not sure where it wants to go. It's heading out into the lawn, actually. So they usually have that little X pattern right on their backs, which is really cool. Very hard to find this time of year. In the springtime, they're down by the water. They'll just sit there and sing, and you can easily find them. But typically, they're going to be up in trees, so they're harder to find during the summertime. So he's heading up over to this stone wall, probably wants to get into the shade. So we're just going to film him for a second, and then we'll send him on his way. They can sometimes be a little bit of a different color. A little bit more red or a little bit more gray. This one's sort of a creamy tan color. Really cool. Christina's asking how far they can leap. They're not far jumpers. I'd say 2 feet would be the max that they're able to jump. Pretty neat though. He's just chilling there. So unfortunately, you can't get them to sing. I would really love for you to hear how loud it can be. It's 90 decibels. They say that's a 737 at about 1 nautical mile. So if you're about a mile away from a 737, that's the amount of noise that they can produce. For their size, they're probably the loudest in Connecticut. I'm not sure where it just went. It's up under the leaf. The cicadas get larger and can make more noise. So I'd say between the cicadas are much louder, but they're also bigger. Imagine that, an insect that's bigger than this little frog. All right, do we have any questions going up about the little frog? I'm not seeing any. I'm just gonna zoom in right here, see what we've got. He probably thinks he's hidden underneath the leaf there. It's cool and shady under there, so that's a great place for them to hang out. There's also a little bit of moisture still on the leaves from the dew this morning. Another question, how do they sing? So they will inflate their chin. You can't really see it there, but they inflate their chin, and then when they release the air out, that's how they produce the noise. So that noise going back and forth over their vocal cords from their chin. They're not releasing it out of their air. They're going back and forth between their lungs and their vocal cords. So that is pretty darn cool. Just for a size comparison, I'm going to put my finger in there so you can see how large it is. It's about the size of my thumbnail, a little bit bigger. Really cool. So, whenever I can find an animal like this, I'd like to share it with people. All right, so we're going to let this guy head off on its own. If you want to see our regular scheduled programs, they'll be starting up again Tuesday at 11 o'clock. We're only doing them Tuesdays through Fridays at 11 right now. And when we get into the fall school season, we'll pick up more programming again. Unless we're able to open the Nature Center, which I'm hoping to be able to do. So tune in at 11 o'clock on Tuesday for another program from the Meigs Point Nature Center. Until then, this is Ranger Russ signing off.